Have you ever wondered what lies between dimensions? Not parallel universes or alternate realities, but the void between them. What happens when someone becomes trapped in that impossible space where reality itself breaks down? Today, we explore one of the most psychologically disturbing entries in the SCP Foundation's archives. SCP-3001, known as Red Reality. SCP-3001 is classified as a Euclid-class anomaly. Not immediately threatening to humanity as a whole, but deeply dangerous to anyone unfortunate enough to encounter it. It's a paradoxical non-dimension that exists in the gaps between realities, discovered through a catastrophic accident at Site-120 in January 2000. Think of it as falling through a crack in the universe, but instead of landing somewhere else, you remain suspended in the nothingness between. The Foundation's current containment procedures focus on prevention rather than containment. Because how do you contain nothingness itself? All reality-bending technology now requires multiple redundant safeguards to prevent the accidental creation of Class C broken entry wormholes that could lead to this dimension. While information about SCP-3001 is available to all Foundation personnel as a cautionary tale, research into it is strictly limited to Level 3 personnel and above, with special clearance required from specific sites. What makes SCP-3001 truly terrifying isn't just its nature as a void between realities. It's what happened to Dr. Robert Scranton, the Foundation researcher who became trapped there for nearly 6 years. His story, documented through recordings made on a somehow still functioning control panel, chronicles one of the most disturbing accounts of psychological and physical deterioration in the Foundation's records. In this void where reality itself barely exists, with a Hume level of just 0.032, normal reality being 1.0, matter behaves in ways that defy our understanding of physics. Living tissue decays at an impossibly slow rate, allowing consciousness to persist long after what should be fatal damage. A human can lose over 70% of their body mass and continue functioning, as long as 40% of their brain remains intact. But this isn't mercy, it's torture. The low Hume field gradually breaks down anything with a higher reality value, causing matter to literally fade from existence. What you're about to hear is Dr. Scranton's descent into isolation, madness, and physical dissolution over 2,172 days in a place where even death offers no escape. His only companion was a blinking red light on the control panel that recorded his deterioration, both mental and physical, as he struggled to maintain his sanity and sense of self in a realm where reality itself was his enemy. Through Dr. Scranton's logs, we witness not just a man's struggle for survival, but fundamental questions about the nature of existence itself. What makes us real? How much of ourselves can we lose before we cease to be human? And perhaps most disturbingly, what happens when we discover that even death cannot free us from our prison? This is the story of SCP-3001, Red Reality. A tale of isolation, deterioration, and the horror of existing in a place where existence itself is barely possible. But most of all, it's a love story. Between a man and the wife he left behind, between a scientist and his sanity, and between a consciousness and its desperate grip on reality. Let us begin with the day everything went wrong at Site-120, when a reality stabilizer malfunction tore a hole between dimensions and condemned Dr. Robert Scranton to what would become known as the Red Reality. My name is Robert Scranton. I was a researcher for the SCP Foundation, stationed at Site-120 alongside my wife, Anna Lang. We developed reality-bending technology to stabilize anomalies, to keep the impossible contained. It was supposed to be a groundbreaking achievement, a triumph of science over chaos. But one bad day was all it took to turn that dream into this endless black nightmare. I don't know how long it's been since the accident. Days, maybe weeks. maybe longer. Time doesn't feel real here. I can't feel anything here. Not properly. It started with an earthquake minor, barely worth noting. The stabilizers in Reality Lab A were mid-cycle, humming with precision. Anna had just left the lab to check on a calibration issue in another room. I was tweaking the LSS settings when the tremor hit. The floor shuddered, monitors flickered, and then a terrible, metallic groan filled the air. The stabilizer failed. I remember shouting for Anna, the words tearing from my throat as sparks and smoke erupted around me. The air felt like it folded in on itself, a scream of physics unraveling in a way no one should ever hear. And then, nothing. No sound, no light. Just this. At first I thought I was dead, that this void was some sort of afterlife or limbo. But as my senses adjusted, I realized I could still move. My breathing was shallow, strained, but my lungs worked. My hands trembled as I patted myself down, checking for injuries. Nothing was broken, but I couldn't feel the ground beneath me. Couldn't feel anything, really, except this sickening, oppressive nothingness pressing in from all sides. The red light was the first thing I saw. It blinked faintly in the darkness, pulling me toward it like a drowning man grasping for a lifeline. It was the control panel, the LSS interface. Somehow, it had been sucked into this place with me. "Anna," I croaked, my voice raspy and weak. "Anna, can you hear me?" I screamed her name again and again, raw desperation swelling with every syllable. The silence was unbearable. No echoes, no reverberations, just my voice vanishing into the void like it had been swallowed whole. The red light blinked steadily, uncaring. It became my only companion. Days passed. At least I think they did. My watch stopped working, and without light, I couldn't track time. I'd pace back and forth, counting steps to give myself something, anything to hold on to. I talked to the control panel, begging it to relay my voice, to do something. "Anna, if you're out there, I need you to know I'm alive. I don't know where I am, but I'm alive. Please tell me you made it out okay." I repeated the same phrases like a mantra, trying to keep my mind from unraveling. "My name is Robert Scranton. I'm 39 years old. My wife's name is Anna. She has green eyes and the most beautiful smile in the world. I love her. I love her so much." The words were supposed to comfort me, but they felt hollow. Eventually, I started testing the boundaries of this place. There's no proper ground here. No walls, no ceiling. Walking feels like treading through molasses, a thick, invisible medium that offers just enough resistance to keep me upright. I'd walk in straight lines, counting every step, but I never found an edge. It's infinite or close enough to make no difference. The silence plays tricks on me. Sometimes, I think I hear whispers, soft, distant murmurs just beyond the edges of perception. I turn, heart pounding, but there's never anything there. I started to wonder if I was going insane. It's hard to describe the weight of absolute isolation. Humans aren't built for it. We need connection, even if it's just the hum of an air conditioner or the creak of floorboards. Here, there's nothing. Just me and the blinking red light. I thought about turning it off. The idea of staring at that tiny, indifferent beacon for another second felt unbearable. But I couldn't do it. It was the only thing keeping me tethered to reality. The only thing keeping me, one night or what felt like night. I found the picture. It was in my pocket, folded and worn from years of carrying it around. Anna's face stared back at me, her green eyes bright with laughter. I traced her features with my thumb, and for the first time in what felt like forever, I cried. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I'm so sorry. I should have done something. I should have been faster, smarter, better." The tears came hard and fast, racking my body with sobs that felt like they'd tear me apart. When they finally stopped, I felt hollow. That was the first time I thought about giving up, about just letting go, but I couldn't, not yet. If Anna was alive, she'd be looking for me. She'd want me to keep fighting, to find a way back. I owed her that much. So I kept walking, kept counting, kept talking to the control panel like it could somehow hear me. Anna, I whispered one night, if you can hear this, I love you. I don't know where I am or if I'll ever see you again, but I love you. I love you so much it hurts. I clung to that thought as I drifted into an uneasy sleep, the darkness pressing down like a suffocating blanket. It was the only thing keeping me alive. I don't know how long I've been here now. Weeks, months. Time is dissolved into a shapeless smear of nothing. The only constants are the darkness and the red light. The counting used to help. I'd walk for hours, keeping track of every step, every breath, every heartbeat. 1, 2, 3. A mechanical chant to drown out the silence. But lately, I've been losing track. Numbers slip through my fingers like grains of sand. Was I on step 1003 or 10,003? It doesn't matter. None of it matters. I've started noticing changes in my body. At first, it was small things, an itch I couldn't scratch, a numbness in my fingertips. Then it became something more. My reflection in the control panel's polished surface, blurry, distorted, showed me what I was too afraid to confirm. My skin is paler than it should be, almost translucent. The veins beneath are dark, stark lines against the sickly pallor. And my eyes. God, my eyes. The whites are tinged with red. The iris is dulled to a color that doesn't feel like mine. I tried not to look after that. The Hume field. That's what's doing this. It's what's always been doing this. Anna and I theorize that in extreme low Hume environments, the boundaries between reality and unreality begin to blur. Solid matter becomes less real. Less itself. We never tested it on organic matter, never even thought to. But I'm living proof of what it can do now. I've stopped feeling hunger or thirst. My body is breaking down, dissolving into this place, but somehow I keep going. It doesn't make sense. Nothing here makes sense. I cling to routines to stay sane. Every morning, I recite my name and a list of facts about myself. Robert Scranton, 39, favorite color, blue, favorite song, living on a prayer, married to Anna Lang. She has green eyes and the softest laugh I've ever heard. I love her. I say it over and over until the words lose their meaning, until they're just sounds filling the void. Sometimes, I try to remember more. The way the sun felt on my skin, the smell of Anna's perfume, the taste of coffee on a cold morning. But every memory is sharp-edged, a jagged piece of glass cutting into my mind. I miss her so much it hurts. I tried to test the limits of this place again. The gel-like substance I walk on gives way if I press hard enough, letting me sink. I spent hours descending into the darkness, counting my steps as I went. Down, down, down. My voice was hoarse, echoing in my head even though this place swallows sound. I thought there might be a bottom, a wall, something to define this endless nothing. But there's nothing. Just more of the same suffocating emptiness. Eventually, I stopped. My body felt heavier the further I went, the pressure of the non-dimension pressing in like a lead weight. It was too much. I climbed back toward the red light, gasping for air I didn't need. The control panel has become my only lifeline. I talk to it as if it's alive, as if it can hear me. I call it Red now. It's stupid, I know, but it helps. Good morning, Red, I say each day, pretending it's a person. How are you doing today? Still blinking, huh? Good for you. Sometimes I get angry at it. You're a piece of shit, you know that? You could have stopped this, could have warned me. But mostly, I beg. Please, Red, do something. Send a signal, open a door, make a sound, anything. Just don't leave me alone. Red never responds. I had a dream last night. Or maybe it was a hallucination. It's hard to tell anymore. I saw Anna standing in front of me, her green eyes filled with tears. She reached out to touch my face, but her fingers passed through me like I was made of smoke. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry, Robert." I woke up screaming, clawing at the air like a madman. I couldn't stop shaking. My skin felt like it was crawling, like ants were burrowing beneath it. She wasn't real. I know she wasn't real, but I wanted her to be. The silence is the worst part. It's a living thing, pressing down on me, suffocating me. My own thoughts echo too loudly, every word and memory amplified until it's unbearable. I've started talking to myself just to fill the void. "Hey, Robert," I say in a mock cheerful tone. "What's the plan for today?" "Oh, you know, just another walk in the endless abyss. Maybe we'll find a nice patch of void to sit on for lunch." It doesn't help. Nothing helps. I've started wondering if this is hell. Not the fire and brimstone kind, but something colder, emptier. Maybe I deserve it. For my arrogance. For thinking I could play God with reality itself. Anna warned me, but I didn't listen. I thought I was untouchable, invincible, but I'm not. I'm just a man. A broken, fading man trapped in a place that shouldn't exist. "Anna," I whisper, staring at the red light. "I'm trying. I don't know how much longer I can do this, but I'm trying. For you. Please. Please find me." My voice cracks, the words barely audible, and then silence. I don't know how much longer I can lie to myself. This place is killing me. Not quickly, not mercifully, but slowly, piece by piece, like a disease spreading through my body. And the worst part, I can feel it happening. I woke up or something close to waking today to find my left hand trembling uncontrollably. The fingers didn't respond properly, stiff and sluggish, like they weren't mine anymore. When I clenched my fist, the skin felt wrong, too soft, too pliable, like clay left out in the sun too long. I pressed my thumb into the back of my hand, testing it. The skin gave way with no resistance, folding inward like wet paper. No blood, no pain, just the sickening sensation of my body forgetting how to stay solid. I spent hours staring at that hand, turning it over, willing it to feel real again. It didn't. The Hume field. I keep coming back to it, turning the equations over in my head like a prayer. High Hume levels stabilize reality. Low Hume levels, well, they turn you into this. Anna and I theorized that organic matter could theoretically survive in a low Hume environment, but we never anticipated what prolonged exposure would do. How could we? No one's ever been stupid enough to test it. Now I'm the test subject. I can see it happening in real time, the diffusion, the breakdown. My body is being rewritten by this place, dissolving into its sickening, infinite nothingness. I've run the calculations a dozen times, maybe more. The diffusion rate is accelerating. If I'm right, I have 3 years, maybe less, before I lose too much to function. Well, what kind of life is this? Today I found something worse than the trembling hand. My right thumb is gone. I didn't notice at first. I was running my hands through my hair, what's left of it, and realized something felt off. My hand looked fine at a glance, but when I tried to flex my thumb, it wasn't there. I stared at the stump for what felt like hours, my mind racing to understand. There was no wound, no blood, just smooth, pale skin where my thumb should have been. I panicked, clawing at my hand as though I could pull the thumb back into existence. I tore at the skin until it peeled away in strips, but underneath was the same sickly, translucent flesh. I screamed until my throat burned. The control panel didn't say anything. It just blinked, steady and indifferent. I wanted to smash it, to tear it apart with my bare hands, but I didn't. I couldn't. "Red," I whispered, my voice hoarse. "What's happening to me?" The red light blinked. It didn't answer. I've started talking to Anna more. Not the real Anna, she's gone, far away in a world that probably thinks I'm dead. But the Anna in my head is still here. I tell her about my day, about the hand, about the thumb. I tell her about the dreams, the whispers, the feeling of my skin unraveling like loose threads. I'm scared, Anna, I admit, my voice breaking. I don't know how much more I can take. She doesn't answer. She never answers. I tried to hurt myself today, just to see if I could still feel anything. I pressed my forearm against the edge of the control panel, dragging it back and forth until the skin split. The wound didn't bleed. It didn't even hurt. The flesh beneath wasn't normal. It was soft, spongy, like raw meat left out to rot. I poked at it with shaking fingers, watching as the edges of the wound began to blur, dissolving into nothingness. I'm losing myself. I've started hearing things, voices. They come from the darkness, faint whispers that brush against the edge of my hearing. Sometimes they're soft, almost kind, calling my name like a lover's caress. Other times they're harsh, guttural things that snarl and growl like animals. I know they're not real, they can't be real. But when you've been alone this long, even hallucinations feel like company. I found Anna's picture again today. It was crumpled in my pocket, the edges worn and stained with sweat. Her face stared back at me, frozen in time. She was smiling, her eyes bright with laughter. She looked so alive, so real. It made my chest ache. I'm sorry, I whispered, tracing her face with my fingertip. I'm so sorry, Anna. I should have been better. I should have. My voice cracked and I couldn't finish. Her image started to blur, the edges fading like smoke. I watched in horror as her face began to dissolve, her green eyes melting into the void. No, I choked, clutching the picture to my chest. No, not you too. I don't know how long I sat there, sobbing into the darkness. When I finally looked again, the picture was gone. Red, I croaked, staring at the blinking light. I'm falling apart. The words echoed in my head, hollow and meaningless. I laughed, a dry, cracked sound that bordered on a sob. I'm falling apart, Red, and no one's coming to save me. The voices are getting louder. At first, I could pretend they were echoes of my own thoughts, bouncing around in this God-forsaken void. But now they're distinct, separate. They whisper in the dark, low and insistent, calling my name, repeating phrases I don't remember saying. Robert, come back. Anna, it's all your fault. Keep walking, Robert. There's nothing here but keep walking anyway. Sometimes the voices sound like Anna. Sometimes they sound like me. But the worst ones sound like something else entirely. Things that don't belong in any world I've ever known. I haven't slept in days, or what feels like days. Every time I close my eyes, I see her. Anna standing just out of reach, her green eyes shining with tears. She calls my name over and over, her voice full of sorrow. Robert, why did you leave me? I try to run to her, but my legs won't move. My body feels heavy, rooted in place. She reaches for me, and her hand dissolves into ash before it can touch my face. I wake up screaming, clawing at the darkness. Good morning, Red, I mutter, my voice cracked and raw. The control panel doesn't respond, of course. It just blinks, steady and unchanging, like it always does. You know, I used to hate small talk. I continue, forcing a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. But now, I'd kill for a good conversation. Hell, I'd kill for a bad one. You ever been married, Red? No, of course not. You're just a blinking fucking light. I laugh, a hollow, brittle sound that echoes too loud in the silence. Sorry. Didn't mean to offend you. You're a great listener, Red. The best, really. I miss her, you know. I miss the way she used to laugh at my stupid jokes. I miss the way she'd roll her eyes and call me a dork. My voice breaks and I have to stop. My hands are worse now. They tremble constantly, the skin pale and translucent, the veins beneath pulsing like slow-moving rivers. When I touch my face, it doesn't feel like mine anymore. I tried to pull my hair today, just to feel something real. But when I grabbed a handful, it came away too easily. My scalp didn't hurt, didn't bleed, just left a raw, smooth patch of flesh where the hair used to be. I stared at the clump of hair in my hand until it dissolved, turning to ash that drifted away into the void. I wanted to cry, but the tears wouldn't come. "Anna," I whisper, staring into the endless darkness. "Can you hear me? Please, I need you." The silence presses in, heavy and suffocating. "I'm sorry," I continue, my voice trembling. "I'm so sorry, Anna. I should have listened to you. You warned me, didn't you? You always warned me." I laugh, bitter and broken, but I didn't listen. I thought I was invincible, thought I could control the uncontrollable. And now look at me. Just look at me. The void doesn't answer. I tried to kill myself again. I don't even know why I bother anymore. Nothing works. I can't drown, can't bleed out, can't suffocate. My body refuses to die, no matter how much I want it to. I stab myself with a piece of metal I broke off the control panel, drove it straight into my stomach, twisting and pushing until I hit something soft. It should have hurt, but it didn't. It just squelched. When I pulled the metal out, there was nothing on it. No blood, no viscera. Just a faint residue that evaporated as I stared at it. I collapsed, curling into myself and sobbed until my throat gave out. The hallucinations are getting worse. I see Anna everywhere now. In the corner of my eye, just out of reach, her green eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Sometimes she smiles at me, a sad, broken smile that tears my heart in two. Other times, her face twists into something monstrous. Her skin melts away, revealing bone and muscle, her eyes hollow and burning with something unholy. "Why did you leave me, Robert?" she whispers, her voice distorted and echoing. "I didn't!" I scream back, my hands trembling. "I didn't leave you! But she's gone before I can finish. I talk to myself constantly now. It's the only thing that keeps the silence at bay. "Hey, Robert," I say, forcing a smile. "What's the plan for today? Another stroll through the infinite void? Maybe we'll finally find that coffee shop you keep talking about." "Shut up, Robert," I reply, scowling. "You're not funny. You're not even real." "None of this is real," I mutter, my voice dropping. "None of it. Not you, not me, not this place." The laughter bubbles up unbidden, harsh and grating until it turns into sobs. "Red," I whisper, clutching the control panel like a lifeline. Please do something, anything. Just don't leave me alone. I can't do this alone." The red light blinks steadily, unchanging. I press my forehead against the cold metal, my breath hitching. "I'm scared, Red," I admit, my voice barely audible. "I don't want to die here, but I don't want to live like this either. I just want it to stop." The void offers no answers. The first pulse hit like a thunderclap in my skull. I was lying by the control panel by Red, staring into the endless black, waiting for the nothingness to take me. Then suddenly there was something. A sound. It wasn't much, just a low hum that seemed to ripple through the void. But after all this time, it was enough to make me sit up so fast I nearly toppled over. "Red?" I croaked, clutching the panel like a lifeline. "What was that? Did you hear that?" The red light blinked, as indifferent as ever. I waited, holding my breath, my heart pounding in my chest. The silence stretched on so long that I began to doubt myself. Maybe I'd imagined it. Maybe then it came again. A low, rhythmic thrum, like the beat of a giant drum, echoing through the void. I stumbled to my feet, my legs weak and unsteady, and strained to listen. The pulses came at regular intervals, faint but undeniable. They made my skin crawl and my teeth ache, but they were real. Something was happening. "Do you hear that, Red?" I whispered, pressing my hands against the panel. "That's not me, right? That's not just in my head?" I laughed, the sound dry and brittle. "Of course you can't answer. You're just a blinking fucking light." But the sound gave me something I hadn't felt in years. A reason to move. The pulses grew stronger as I walked. Or maybe I was just imagining that. It was hard to tell. Every step felt heavier, the invisible gel of this place clinging to my limbs, trying to pull me down, but I kept going. I didn't have a direction, didn't have a plan. I just followed the sound, letting it guide me like a beacon in the dark. Hours passed, maybe days. Time had no meaning here, but the pulses remained constant, steady and unyielding. Eventually I saw it, a faint shimmer in the distance, barely visible against the oppressive black. At first, I thought it was another hallucination, a cruel trick of my unraveling mind. But as I moved closer, the shimmer grew stronger, brighter. It wasn't much, just a ripple in the air, like heat rising off asphalt. But it was something, a break in the monotony, a sign that this place wasn't as infinite as it seemed. I reached out, my hand trembling, and pressed my fingers against the ripple. Pain, white hot and blinding, it shot through me like a lightning bolt, driving me to my knees. I clutched my chest, gasping for air I didn't need, my vision swimming with spots. But the pain meant something. It meant this place could be broken. I spent hours or maybe days testing the ripple, poking and prodding at it like a scientist with a lab experiment. Every touch sent shockwaves of pain through my body, but I didn't care. I needed to understand. The ripple pulsed in time with the hum, growing brighter and more distinct with each passing hour. It wasn't a wall, like I'd hoped. It was more like a membrane, a thin barrier separating this place from something else, something real. I ran back to the control panel, my mind racing. "Red!" I shouted, clutching the edge of the panel. "There's something out there. Do you hear me? Something's breaking through." The red light blinked as steady as ever. I laughed, the sound wild and unhinged. I knew it. I knew there had to be a way out. I just have to figure it out. I began scribbling equations into the dust on the panel's surface, my hands shaking with excitement. The pulses, the ripple, the Hume field, all of it was connected. The ripple wasn't just a break in this place, it was a window. For the first time in years, I felt hope. It was fragile, like a candle flame in a storm, but it was enough to keep me going. If I could just find a way to stabilize myself to stop the Hume field from breaking me down, I might have a chance. But that meant time, and I didn't know how much I had left. The next pulse nearly knocked me off my feet. It was stronger, sharper, like a tidal wave crashing over me. The ripple flared, glowing bright enough to illuminate the void for a brief moment. I saw myself. It was just a glimpse, a flicker of reflection in the ripple's surface. But what I saw made me recoil in horror. My body was a ruin. Most of my hair was gone, leaving my scalp pale and mottled. My skin was translucent, the bones beneath stark and fragile. My left arm was twisted, the fingers fusing together in strange, unnatural ways. I looked like a corpse. "Anna," I whispered, staring at the reflection. "I'm sorry. I don't know if you'll even recognize me if I make it back. But I have to try. I have to." My voice broke, and I pressed my forehead against the ripple, ignoring the pain. "I have to see you again. The pulses are coming faster now, each one stronger than the last. The ripple is growing brighter, more distinct. It's close, so close I can feel it pulling at me, tugging me towards something I can't quite see. But I'm terrified. What happens if I step through? What's waiting on the other side? And what if there's nothing? "Red," I whisper, staring at the control panel. "If I don't make it, if I can't come back, tell Anna I tried. Tell her I love her." The red light blinks, steady and unchanging. I laugh, the sound bitter and hollow. "Yeah, I didn't think so. The ripple is changing. It used to be a faint shimmer, an anomaly I could barely see in the suffocating dark. But now it's a window. I don't know what's on the other side, but it's bright, blindingly bright. The kind of light that burns after years of living in black. I can feel it pulling me closer, dragging me toward the edge like a riptide. The pulses are almost deafening now, each one rattling through my bones, tearing at what's left of me. I don't know if I'll survive this, but I can't stay here. I've spent the last few hours, or whatever passes for hours, in this place, preparing myself. Not physically. There's nothing left to prepare. My body is a broken, withered shell, barely holding together under the weight of this dimension. But mentally, that's another story. Anna, I whisper, staring into the ripple. If you're out there, if you're still looking for me, I'm coming home. I don't know what I'll look like when I get there, but I'll be there. I promise. The words feel hollow even as I say them. I don't recognize myself anymore. The ripple's light casts jagged shadows across my body, highlighting every grotesque detail. My arms are twisted, the skin stretched thin over angular bone. My hands are barely hands, more like claws, with fingers too long and too bent to belong to anything human. And my face, God, my face. I caught a glimpse of it reflected in the ripple. Hollow eyes, sunken cheeks, a mouth twisted into something that might have been a scream once. My teeth are jagged, yellowed things that don't belong in any sane reality. If I saw this thing in the dark, I'd run. But it's me. I sat by the control panel by Red for a long time. I couldn't bring myself to move, couldn't bring myself to leave the only thing in this place that ever made me feel sane. Red, I whispered, my voice cracking. You've been a good friend, you know that. You kept me alive when I wanted to give up. You didn't leave me, even when everything else did. I laughed, a weak rasping sound. Guess this is goodbye, huh? You're not coming with me, and I don't think I'll be back. The red light blinked, steady and unchanging. I love you, Red, I said softly. And thank you for everything. I turned and walked toward the ripple. The light grows brighter with every step, searing into my skin, my bones, my soul. I can feel it pulling me apart, stripping away the fragments of me that still exist. My legs buckle, my knees hitting the invisible ground with a sickening crunch. I crawl the rest of the way, dragging myself toward the window, toward the blinding light that might be salvation or destruction. Anna, I whisper, my voice hoarse. I'm coming back. Please, be there. The ripple is alive. I can feel it writhing beneath my hands, a living, breathing thing that hums with power. It's warm to the touch, almost inviting. But there's something underneath the warmth, something sharp, like teeth waiting to sink into me. I press my hands against it, ignoring the pain as the light burns through my skin. This is it. I take a deep breath or something close to it and push myself through. The pain is immediate, a white-hot fire that engulfs my entire body. I scream, my voice raw and broken as the light tears into me, ripping me apart molecule by molecule. I can feel myself disintegrating, my body unraveling into threads of nothingness. But I keep pushing forward, clawing and kicking and screaming, because if I stop now, I'll never make it. The light grows brighter, hotter, until it's all I can see, all I can feel. And then, cold, I gasp, my lungs seizing as I collapse onto something solid. The ground beneath me is wet, sticky, and reeks of something foul. I try to move, but my body is a tangled mess of limbs and broken flesh. I can hear voices faint and distorted, like they're coming from underwater. What the hell is that? Oh my God, is it alive? Get a med team in here now. The words are jumbled, incomprehensible, but they're real. They're real. I try to speak, but the only sound that escapes my throat is a guttural rasp. I try to lift my head, but it's too heavy, too broken. Robert! The voice cuts through the noise like a knife. It's sharp and familiar and filled with a desperation that makes my chest ache. Anna? I croak, my voice barely audible. Don't move, she cries, her voice trembling. We've got you, Robert. You're safe now. She stops, her breath hitching. Oh my God, she whispers. What did they do to you? I want to tell her it's okay. I want to tell her I'm still me, that I'm still hers. But all I can do is lie there, broken and bleeding, as the world fades to black. December 23rd, 2005. I don't know how I remember the date. Maybe Anna said it. Maybe one of the voices around me whispered it. Or maybe it's the last piece of my mind that hasn't been peeled away by this nightmare. The room is cold, bright. I can feel the fluorescent lights piercing through my eyelids, a searing contrast to the endless black I've lived in for so long. But I can't open my eyes, I can't move. Robert? Her voice cuts through the static in my head, soft and broken. I'd know that voice anywhere, even if it's trembling, even if it's thick with tears. Anna! The word claws its way out of my throat, barely more than a gurgle. Shh, she whispers, and I feel her hand warm, soft press against what's left of mine. I'm here. I'm right here, sweetie. I want to cry, but I don't think I have tear ducts anymore. The voices around us are a blur of noise. Ma'am, you need to step back. No, I'm not leaving him. His vitals are Jesus Christ. What are his vitals? Get Dr. Skinner down here now! I can feel their eyes on me, their horror like a physical weight pressing down on my mangled body. Anna, I rasp again, forcing the word out past the thick metallic taste in my mouth. Don't look at me. Her grip on my hand tightens. Stop it, she says, her voice firm despite the cracks. You're here. That's all that matters. But I can hear it in her voice, the hesitation, the heartbreak. She's seen what I've become. When I finally manage to open my eyes, the light blinds me. It takes a moment for my vision to adjust, and when it does, I almost wish it hadn't. I see her face first. Anna. She's kneeling beside me, her green eyes wide and glistening with tears. She looks older, the years etched into the lines around her mouth, the dark circles under her eyes, but she's still the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Hey, I croak, forcing a smile. Still, a dork? She chokes out a laugh, a sound that's half a sob. Yeah, she whispers, brushing a hand across my forehead. Still a dork. Then I see the rest of the room. Doctors and researchers in lab coats hover near the edges, their faces pale, their expressions a mixture of fear and revulsion. I catch glimpses of their whispered words. Is it human? How is he alive? We need to stabilize the Hume levels now. One of them steps closer, and I see her recoil when she gets a better look at me. I don't blame her. Anna's gaze flickers over my body, and for a moment, I see the mask crack. Her breath catches, her hand trembling as it hovers over my chest, unsure where to touch. God, Robert, she whispers, her voice breaking. What did they do to you? Not them. I manage, my voice like sandpaper. The place, it took me apart. She shakes her head, tears streaming down her cheeks. I'm so sorry, she says, her words tumbling over each other. I tried, Robert. I tried so hard to bring you back, to find you, but I squeeze her hand, or try to. I don't know if she even feels it. Not your fault, I rasp. Never your fault. The doctors move in, their voices clinical and detached as they discuss my condition. His body's severely destabilized. The Hume field readings are fluctuating. Is that bone? His forearm is entirely exposed. His internal organs, I don't think they're even functioning. Anna glares at them, her voice sharp. He's alive. That's all that matters. You fix him. You hear me? You fix him. I want to tell her to stop. To let them go. I'm not worth it. But my voice catches in my throat, and all I can do is lie there as the world spins around me. The machines they hook me up to hum with a cold efficiency. Wires and tubes snake into what's left of my body, feeding me fluids and stabilizing my Hume levels. I can feel Anna's hand on mine the whole time, her touch the only thing keeping me tethered to reality. Stay with me, she whispers over and over. Stay with me, Robert. Don't you dare leave me now. Hours pass, maybe days. The pain is a constant gnawing presence, but it's almost comforting in its familiarity. It reminds me that I'm still here. Eventually, the room clears out, the doctors and researchers retreating to analyze their data, to figure out what to do with the broken thing that used to be a man. Anna stays. She sits beside me, her head resting against the edge of the bed, her fingers still entwined with mine. I love you, I whisper, the words barely audible. Her eyes meet mine, her lips trembling. I love you too, she says. And for the first time in years, I believe it. I don't know how long I have. Days, weeks, maybe months. My body is failing, collapsing under the weight of what SCP-3001 did to me. But I'm here, I'm with her. And for now, that's enough. Or, name, Robert Scranton. Age, 39. Birthday, September 19th, 1961. Favorite color, blue. Favorite song, Living on a Prayer. Wife, Anna. Name, Robert Scranton. Age, 39. Birthday, September 19th, 1961. Favorite color, blue. Favorite song, Living on a Prayer. Wife, Anna. She has green eyes. I love her very much. Name, Robert Scranton. Age, 39. Birthday, September 19th, 1961. Favorite color, blue. Height, cm. Weight, 85 kg. Wife, Anna. I'm sorry. Name, Robert Scranton. Age, 39. Birthday, September 19th, 1961. Favorite color, blue. My wife's name is Anna. We got married August 12th, 1991. I hope she got out okay. Please let her be all right. Please let her be all right. Robert Scranton, 39. Anna, blue. Wife, please, God, please. Anna Bobana. What the hell is that? What the fuck? This thing's actually recording. Now that we've walked through Dr. Scranton's haunting journey, let's dive into what makes SCP-3001 one of the most psychologically complex entries in the Foundation's database. What makes SCP-3001 truly terrifying is its basis in theoretical physics. The concept of a non-dimension, with a Hume level of 0.032, isn't just science fiction. It explores fundamental questions about reality itself. Dr. Scranton and Dr. Lang's work on reality anchors would later become the foundation for the SCP Foundation's reality stabilization technology, suggesting that their research, though tragic, advanced our understanding of reality-bending phenomena. One of the most disturbing aspects of SCP-3001 is how it subverts the concept of death. In normal circumstances, the injuries Dr. Scranton sustained would have been merciful, bringing a quick end to his suffering. Instead, the low Hume field preserved his consciousness, while his body literally fell apart. This raises haunting questions about consciousness, identity, and what truly defines human existence. One prominent theory suggests that SCP-3001 is a non-dimension accessible through a Class C broken entry wormhole, as detailed in the official documentation. His theory aligns with the Foundation's understanding of SCP-3001 as a paradoxical parallel pocket dimension with an extremely low Hume level, leading to the gradual disintegration of matter within it. Another analysis delves into the psychological aspects of Dr. Robert Scranton's experience. Trapped in an infinite void with no sensory input, Dr. Scranton's mental state deteriorates over time. His recordings reveal a descent into despair and hallucinations, highlighting the profound impact of sensory deprivation and isolation on the human psyche. This perspective emphasizes the horror of SCP-3001, not just as a physical anomaly, but as a mental ordeal. Additionally, discussions have arisen about the implications of SCP-3001 on the Foundation's understanding of reality and the Hume field. The existence of a space with such a low Hume level challenges established laws of physics and reality, suggesting that there are aspects of the universe that remain beyond human comprehension. This has led to debates about the ethical considerations of experimenting with reality-bending technologies and the potential risks involved. The documentation of Dr. Scranton's deterioration provides one of the most detailed accounts of isolation's effects on the human psyche. His progression from scientific observation to desperate conversations with an inanimate object, to finally losing his grip on identity itself, serves as a chilling study of human consciousness under extreme conditions. SCP-3001 led to major reforms in reality-bending research protocols. The Scranton reality anchors used throughout Foundation facilities are named in his honor, though few know the full story behind their development. His sacrifice ultimately helped prevent countless similar accidents. What makes SCP-3001 particularly affecting is its human element. At its core, this isn't just a story about scientific mishaps or interdimensional horror. It's a love story. Dr. Scranton's relationship with Anna, preserved in his increasingly fragmented memories, humanizes what could otherwise be just another clinical report. If you found this exploration of SCP-3001 intriguing, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the mysteries of the SCP Foundation. Your support helps us bring more content to curious minds like yours.